You've recorded, man.
Yeah,
I
brother,
can
like,
dig it.
stop. Right on.
Hey, man, what's your name?
Mother, there's too many of you crying.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, or an hour, or a day, or even a year. But eventually, it will subside, and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever.
I want to teach you something that I learned that changed my life also. Everything that changed my life came from God. You talking about next level? I'm finna show you how to get there. I've been debating on how I was going to do this, but I thought the best way to go about this is just tell you my story. And in my story, maybe you can see some of yourself. Listen, man, anybody can be successful, but you got to understand something. It's hard. It's hard, man. You can take all the courses you want. It's hard. You can go down there to the church and hold your hands in a prayer circle. When you get through praying, it's going to be hard. You go to school, you can get all the degrees you want. When you get them degrees and you hang them on the wall, if you want to be successful, it's going to be hard. It's hard being successful. That's the first thing you need to understand.
Bring some understanding here today. Pick it loud.
And the difference between a champion and someone who's forgotten is that a champion shows up. That's the only thing. Every day shows up. Gives himself a chance to make a difference. Because success doesn't know these things about cold or early or tired. It just knows if you showed up or not.
For some of you, when you do what you do, you act as if you have another opportunity. Every opportunity is the last opportunity. You can't just say you want it. You can't watch the video and say, I want it as bad as I want to breathe. It's cute to say it. But when it's showtime, when the sun comes out, you've got all the books, you've got all the tapes, you've got all the access. Now it's time to hunt. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But if life's got you down, I need you to get up and prove them wrong. It's gonna rain sometimes. I will. You're gonna feel discouraged sometimes. I will. No matter what the obstacle, I will. I will. I will. A true hunter's goal is not the prize. A true hunter's goal is to hunt. That's what they live for. They live to hunt. It's the whole process.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Soul Talk. Hey, if you're already logged in to us, go ahead and share, invite somebody, tell them that we have an amazing live stream schedule for today. I'm talking about, you want to tell everybody, you don't want to miss this one here, simply because we have the one and only he's a Super Bowl ring holder, West Point graduate. I'm talking about all kind of things, and on top of everything, he's an Army guy.
Yes.
See who. That's what I'm saying. So go tell somebody. Say, hey, we have Coach Coaxum on the broadcast today. I'm talking about, you don't want to miss his story. We're going to talk about leadership and purpose, something that all of us can really dive into. So take a moment, hit share. Call your cousins, call your friends, call everybody, tell them Soul Talk is on. Good evening, Coach.
Hey, how you doing? I'm happy to be here, man. This is pretty cool, and excited to talk to you guys tonight.
Hey, and for those of you who know that my sunshine is on here, Norma Davis, Soul Talk with Leo and Norma. And we say, let's talk about it. That means let's talk about anything. Hey, Sunshine.
Hey, I'm excited. Let's go. I'm so excited about this call.
So really now, we're going to give them a few minutes to kind of just share and let somebody know that we're on. We don't want anybody to miss any of this time this evening. I believe that there will be some great things that's going to take place. I believe that lives can be changed this evening by some of the information that will be covered. So I'm telling you, Coach, we have been looking forward to this one here. We've been kind of DJ and I and my wife. We've been talking about this here, talking about the day that you were going to be on here, and we're so excited that you was able to fix your schedule so that you could come on and hang out with us.
Definitely.
It's been great. When we first set this up with Derek, things were pretty different for me. And going through a lot of different things and the pandemic and all the things going on, he reached out to me about doing this. I was like, yeah, I'm all for it. And in the time of maybe about 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks, when I said, yeah, I'll be on, life changed for me in a lot of ways where I landed a head coaching opportunity. That's been a career goal of mine. And I was like, hey, bro, I still would love to do it, but I can't. I want to make sure I set it up right till we can get it done. But I was glad I was able to get that thing set, and I'm happy to be on.
Awesome!
Congratulations on your new job, and that's at an HBCU.
Yeah, so it's Bluefield State College in Bluefield, West Virginia. It's a historically black college, and the cool thing about it is so unique is that we haven't had football since 1980. So
Wow.
Not only my first head coaching opportunity, but I'll be literally building this program from the ground up, from facility wise to designing uniforms to picking every single player that'll be brought into the program to get this thing going. So it's very unique. It's a challenge, and I'm so excited to be here and just can't wait to get this going.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna make sure that we follow, because we know that they don't know what they're going to be in store for, Coach. I know you're going to put together a winning team. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Well, let me do a quick intro, and then we'll dive right in. Guys, once again, we have Coach Tony Coaxum with us this evening. Super Bowl 50 champion. I'm talking about with the Denver Broncos, Peyton Manning. I know you all know about the year. I think that was Peyton's last year, wasn't it, Coach?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so everybody remember that game, when Peyton came back to the game and did what he did. Also, Coach is a West Point grad. Now, being an old Army veteran, we know that that's a big deal. Everybody don't just make it through West Point.
That's right.
You have to not only be in great shape, you got to be extremely talented and disciplined. So thank you for your service, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Same to you guys. We got two. All three of us are Army, Army vets, and Leo. You being a fellow Red like myself, and it's also spinning down to Fort Bragg. So you know what it's like running down those streets of Ardennes for all those years. So we have that common trait involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
And see, some of you might not understand what he just said. See that coach also was an officer in the Army. He was part of the Field Artillery Regiment, and I started my career off in Field Artillery. Now, Pastor Norma, you could tell him what you did in the military because she didn't live out there in the boonies. I'm not going to tell your story. Go ahead and tell your story.
Well, I had the amazing opportunity to be an executive assistant for general officers, 1, 2, and 3-star general officers. So some of the major ones, Lieutenant General Franks and those kinds of Eric Shinseki, and those that people kind of know their names already. I actually worked for those guys in 7th Corps headquarters. So I'm like super, I am like the woman that's like, let's get it done, you know. So I'm excited to meet somebody who came through, you know, maybe you were coming through the Army ranks, through the officer ranks, and was just about to get to my place.
So it's funny because you mentioned General Shinseki. So
yeah,
my senior year, my very last game as Army football player, I'm on the sideline, and our superintendent comes up, who's a guy that I admire so much, General Chrisman, and we're on the side. Tony, you know, great, let's go get this thing. And then he says, I want to introduce you to a good friend of mine. And he goes, Tony Coaxum, this is Eric Shinseki.
Wow.
Wow.
And the thing is, he introduces him as Eric Shinseki. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's General Shinseki. But I can't. But I have a picture that I have of me in my last game was playing as a college football player, General Chrisman, who I admire so much right there. And I'm shaking the hand of General Shinseki. So
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah, that's so awesome. We actually met him when he was a light colonel. So he went up from the ranks from light colonel to colonel, then to a general. So
yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Those were some amazing days. And really, it would take us forever to talk about all the wonderful accomplishments that you've had, Coach. One thing that I do want to ask coming out the gate is tell us a little bit about your journey.
So I'm originally from Charleston, South Carolina, and you know, born and raised, and I always try to keep myself, and people hear me say this all the time, I'm always going to be just a country boy from Charleston, South Carolina. And from a military family, my mom was in the Navy. My dad served in the Air Force. My grandfather served in World War II. God bless his soul, passed away a few years ago, years 98. Uncles in the Army, Marines, an aunt in the Navy. My son, one of my brothers served in Marines. My son is currently serving right now at Fort Bragg. So the first family business was the military.
Wow.
Something I always wanted to do. And in my senior memory book, one of the things, you always have that patient where you see yourself in 5 years. And I wrote in that book was 5 years, I want to be a college graduate and a second lieutenant in the Army. And that's exactly where I was. I got to West Point, and 5 years after I graduated, that's exactly where I was. So I knew service was always something I wanted to do. Again, I went to West Point and ended up, I didn't play high school football. I played as a little kid and ran track. And once I got accepted to the West Point Prep School, I decided, hey, I want to playing football again. And good Lord blessed me with a lot of ability to run fast and jump high. And I was able to walk onto the team there and then ended up starting. I was a receiver when I got there and ended up moving to the defensive side of the ball. And we had a pretty big roster, and I was the 7th string corner going into my sophomore year.
Wow.
And ended up moving up to the park to start the year. So my sophomore year, I was the 2nd string corner and played every game, started the 3rd game of my sophomore year and started the rest of my career. And that got me back into football and had a chance to go back to the prep school and coach for a season. And that's kind of when I really got that initial feel of really enjoying the coaching. And but I knew I wanted to serve and got into, again, Field Artillery Station at Fort Bragg. And my military career was cut short due to some medical issues with a back injury. And got into civilian world and working just in corporate America and wanted to get into high school coaching down in Georgia. And that's where I kind of really realized that my worst day coaching was better than my best day on any job I ever had.
Wow.
That's kind of when I realized that's what I wanted to do and pursue it. And I tried everything I can to get into college coaching with one day of hopes of getting back to West Point. And I still have a bunch of the letters of different places I applied to that told me, thank you for your letter, or no, we're not interested, or we'll keep our letter on file. I still have a bunch of those. And ironically enough, my first chance to get into college coaching was back at West Point. So I was there for 7 years, and obviously loved the place and loved coaching there. And I was able to get to a bowl game there, and then had a chance to go into the NFL, work with the Baltimore Ravens, work with special teams. Did that for a year, and that's where I met Coach Gary Kubiak. And that next year, we got to the second round of the playoffs, and he got a chance to go back to Denver as the head coach where he played his career, and he brought me with him, and we won a Super Bowl in that first year as I was assistant special teams coordinator.
Awesome.
And unbelievable experience, and was there for a couple of years, and then went back into the college ranks, was at the University of Central Michigan University as special teams coordinator, and cornerback coach by the head coach who coached me at West Point and basically helped me get to on the team as he's recruiting coordinator, and John Bonamego, and did that for a year. Got a chance to go to the University of Kansas with Les Miles in a special teams analyst role and learn a lot from Coach Miles. And then January of this past year, got a job at Northern Colorado, special teams coordinator and defensive backs coach. And obviously pandemic hit and a lot of things changed, and we weren't playing this year. And then this opportunity came up of being here at Bluefield State, new program. And there was a connection here to West Point that knew me as a cadet who worked in the area, and he got me connected. And basically, if it wasn't for him, Dane Rideout, it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten my information to the president of the university. And from there, things clicked. And like I said, he gave me that call to inquire about me, and he got to see my passion and my what I was about. And now I'm here as the new head coach at Bluefield State College and getting this program off the ground.
Okay.
Wow.
Go ahead there, Sunshine.
Yeah, so I heard a lot of things that you just said, and it was, of course, it was a lot of information, and I heard a lot of military and a lot of obviously sports and football in particular that was intertwined in that. And I wanted to look at something that you had in your book. As we're talking about this author series, of course, we're going to go to the book and kind of pull some things out. And the one thing that it was right on your introduction page. You said there are many similarities between being an Army officer and a football coach. You must take a group of people from different personalities and backgrounds and get everyone focused on accomplishing a common goal. That is a really, really interesting concept, to be able to take those two disciplines that are obviously very different, but to be able to bring them together and see the commonalities between the two. Can you kind of explain or expound a little bit more on that?
Yeah, to me, honestly, I think it's they go hand in hand, because everything I did as an Army officer, I do as a football coach. And just like you pulled from the book, as an Army officer, your job is to take a group of individuals from different races, different ethnic backgrounds, different beliefs, different socioeconomic backgrounds, different financial backgrounds, and get them all on the same page to where to accomplish a simple goal. That's exactly what you do as a football coach. Mm-hmm. Exact same thing.
Right.
On another aspect of it, you will lose your key leaders. You lose NCOs that may retire, that may go to different units, that may PCS out of the Army or retire from the military. Now you have to replace those individuals. That's the same thing you do especially in college, and even more in the NFL. You may do that weekly, but you do it year to year. You have to replace those key leaders, those key performers in your Army unit. You do the same thing. You have to replace those key players. Guys will come up in the ranks, and you have guys that are trade or guys that are graduate, and you got to get those guys, new guys, to step up. You also in the Army, you have new soldiers that come in, particularly privates, that you have to indoctrinate into your culture and let them know, hey, this is how we do business here. This is how we operate here. You do the exact same thing as a coach when you have freshmen coming in straight out of high school, right. Or in the NFL, you have rookies come in. You have to teach them how your organization works. So to me, they go hand in hand. There's very little difference between the two. So all those things I did in the Army and I learned in the Army, I took those same things in the corporate world. I took the same thing as the coach. So it was just a natural growth. And football in general is a militaristic sport in general.
Mm-hmm.
So many moving pieces. Take a sport like basketball, you've got great players like a Shaq or a Kobe or LeBron or a Michael Jordan. You know, that person that can carry a team, and you
Right.
can. Where in football, again, no matter how great one individual is, you need everybody doing the job together, or you're not going to be successful. We won the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning at that time, as he's super intelligent and still capable of doing the job, but physically he wasn't the same player that he was because he got older, and no one defeats Father Time, you know.
Right.
But it took all of us to get that done. And the great thing about that experience of winning the Super Bowl, it took every single player that we had on that roster to be successful at some point in time. Every single player that may have played 1 or 2 games, every guy that ever stepped in the game for us that year did something that contributed to us winning a game that contributed us to winning the Super Bowl. And it was one of the most impressive and one of the most special things of team bonding and everyone buying in and embracing what their role was to get the job done. And that's something that, again, that will always be that we'll always have. And every single person on that team that's wearing one of these will be able to say, I contributed at some point in time, whether it's in practice or even in games, to get us done and to get it done. And it was always something very special about that.
Right.
Can you hold that ring up just a little higher? It was up on your neck. There it is. There. You know, it was a flash. I just wanted to get a close up look at it. Now, Coach, you talked about saying something about culture. How important is to have the right culture?
It's the number one thing. And to me, leadership and culture dictates everything. It could be in the military, it could be in coaching, it could be in the business world, it could be in politics. It doesn't matter. If you have strong leadership, everything works better. You could have the best X's and O's as a coach, the best battle plan, the best policies. But if you don't have quality leadership and a strong foundation, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be. You can be somewhat successful, but you're not going to be as successful as you possibly can. On the flip side, if I have lint, I can take this pen, and if I have great leadership and a great team, we can sell as many of those pens as we possibly can, and more so than we probably should, because you have a great foundation. So to me, and again, I'm not the smartest person in the world, and I try to simple things down to the basics. You know, when things go wrong or things are struggling, or, you know, we're not going where we're supposed to be, whether that was in the Army or in coaching or in the business world, I try to big it down to, again, being in leadership roles. Like, hey, am I doing everything I possibly can to have the best, to promote the best leadership environment, to build the best team building environment, and build the best coach for my people can excel? Because that's what I can control. And if I can do that and pinpoint something that I can do better, I fix that first.
Right.
I fix those things first. And then from there, you can go out and fix other things. So I think it's so important to have those things, because, again, we all know you build a house on a great foundation. If you build a house on sand, it's not going to last long. But you build a house on a nice concrete, a nice stable foundation, you can have the most beautiful, perfect house out there. And so, again, it goes back to that. That's what I always come back to, the leadership and the culture and the team building part of it, because that'll overcome a lot of issues that you may have.
Absolutely. So, Coach, I was kind of interested because, you know, many times when we talk, we have leadership conversations. Many times we talk about the leader and their perspective and what they're bringing to the table. I'm kind of curious of your thoughts of those that don't necessarily see themselves as leaders, but, you know, you understand that there's a leader in all of us in some aspect, but sometimes people don't really see themselves as leaders because, you know, it's kind of like, well, this person is in charge or that person's in charge, and I'm just a little peon here just doing the job. How would you be able to talk to someone that has that thought process to help them to be able to, first of all, to be developed, to allow themselves to be developed by a leader, but also to see themselves in a different light and where they can actually be a leader?
That's a great question. Again, there's different levels of leadership, different styles of leadership. You obviously got to have the people out front that's making decisions and 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 controlling those things and building the culture. But within your team, you have to have those type of people that will lead by example. Those people are important, just like the people who are up front actually verbalizing and representing the organization, so to speak. But you have to have the type of person that's on the floor, that's on the field, that does everything that you ask them to, that you can point to and say, hey, Johnny is doing everything exactly where we want to get done, and follow. And people will naturally follow that.
That's right.
Not everybody necessarily wants to be in the front of the room and leading things. Not everyone wants to be a head coach. There's people that I know that are completely content and they're at their maximum and they're at their potential. They found their purpose as being an offensive coordinator or being a defensive coordinator or being a special teams coordinator in that niche. And that's perfectly fine because you have to have it at all levels. But I think when it comes down to the people in those roles, it's their job. They're doing their job just by, hey, being accountable, leading by example, and doing things the right way. And as the leader, as the person that's in that position with the title, it's up to you to identify that and then figure out where that person stands. Is this a person that is really set out to go out to be up front to replace you one day, or is he someone that needs to be in a role that he's amongst the heart and soul of your unit in order to lead, and then it's your job to cultivate that whatever level that may be.
Sure.
Again, you don't want to make the mistake of putting someone in a situation where they're not going to be successful.
That's right. Yeah.
The big things I value as a coach, and particularly my time being a special teams coach, my job, I don't necessarily as a special teams coach didn't always get the job to get the most talented guys. So I don't have the ability to say, well, that guy's not fast enough, that guy's not tall enough, he's not strong enough. A lot of times we have to make do with what we have. So in that role, I had to learn to focus on what someone's good at. He's very good at this. My job is to put him in a situation to capitalize on those abilities. And that's what really good leaders do. You don't worry about what someone can't do. That's very easy to do. It's easy to say, well, that person can't do it, I don't want them. That's not your job.
Right.
Your job is you have this group of people, and this is who I have. They're very good at this. I'm going to put them in that position, in that situation, to excel at doing what they're doing. Put people in roles that they can excel at and that they can embrace. One thing I like to say is, as a team, understand your importance of your role, and it's the most important role that there is on the team. Because for you, that's what it is.
Right.
Everyone can't be Peyton Manning.
Right.
Peyton has a role that's very visible, and everyone who maybe not even not watch football knows, hey, his job is very important. But there's another person on this team. Your job may just be the best scout team player that it is. And you have to have the mindset, hey, my job is to be the best, absolute best guy at this job because there's nobody that can do it better than me.
That's right. Yeah.
And that goes from the Peyton Mannings to the world. That goes to all the way to the cooks that are in the dining facility and in the kitchen at the building, all the way to the people that are taking out the trash. Everyone feels like this place will fall apart if I don't do my job. The level of your organization will rise up.
Yeah.
It'll make everyone better. So as that leader, you have to figure out what those are and identify, is this a person that can go on to be in my shoes one day? Or is this a person I need to bump up just enough so he can impact more of the people at, the core, the meat potatoes, where the rubber meets the road, the NCO level of things to get things done. And that's what your job is doing. All they're responsible doing is doing their job at the best of their ability. And as the leader in charge with the title, you have to identify the next guys to fill in those different spots.
Right. Yeah.
One of the things, Coach, while you're talking, I'm just thinking about a lot of time, people find it hard to find their niche and be comfortable there. A lot of time we spend so much time comparing ourselves to other people to where you never really find the space or the lane that you were created to occupy. So you waste time trying to be a Peyton Manning or trying to be somebody else. That little old commercial you have. I want to be like Mike. Only Mike can be Mike. But I do believe that all of us that are allowed to make our way to the planet, I believe all of us bring something of value to deposit in the planet that will make the planet a better place. I know in the military, a lot of time. You know, we had guys and girls. Some guys could run. I'm talking about they could run forever. But then there were other guys and girls that were good at doing push-ups and sit-ups, but they couldn't run a good block. Well, when you understood the team concept, you understood that sometimes you have to run your race and then come back and help somebody else. Well, I think when I'm listening to you, when you talk about identifying what people do and making sure you have the right person in the right places and about everybody being important, I think that good leaders will always be able to identify certain things. So my question is, I was leading up to a question. How do you really go about identifying good leaders?
It's a constant process. It starts from the day you get in that leadership role, whether you're coming from an outside organization. And I always try to find myself when I get a new job or I get into a new organization, I want to find and interact with the people I'm in charge of leading as quickly as possible, whether that be players or I was in the Army or when I was in corporate America. When I was in the Army, one of the first things I did, I grabbed, and I mentioned this in the book, I grabbed my NCO and said, hey, let's go out and get something to eat. And I wanted him to get to know him personally, get to know me, and kind of let him know where I stood and let him know, hey, you forgot more about the Army than I'll ever know. and before I make any decision, I'm going to talk to you about it. And 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to do what you suggest. But I need you to understand that one time, that 10%, when I said, I got you, Sergeant, but we want to do this, I need you to say, all right, Roger, sir, let's go get it done. And once I did that, and sir, we're good to go, we're good. And in the and as coach, it's kind of the same thing. I want to try to interact with our players right away, whether it's in the hallway. I try to catch them at their most natural moment. You know what I mean? That's what ideally the first time I meet them, that's how I want to be. I want to catch them in passing in the hallway, or while they may be in a locker room, hanging out with their buddies. Because now you get to really see who they are.
Right.
Because if you do is, hey, come up and see me, they're going to put on their facade, which we all do. So I want to see them in their natural state first. That tells me, hey, I can see who's around them. I see how they interact with them. All right, this dude's got the quote unquote alpha male type of mentality. People relate to him, or he's a class clown. He's a jokester, or this kid's he's really quiet. He's really passive. I get those initial, because that natural state tells me who you are. Then I get you behind closed doors. We talk one-on-one. We get to know each other. I get to know about your family. Know what makes you tick. And now that will either line up in line, say, okay, that matches up. Or it may just be, no, they're two totally different people.
Mm-hmm.
So you may get, from that initial reaction, you might get someone, oh, this person's very confident. He's ready to rock and roll. He's a leader. You get behind closed doors, you might find out this person really shy. And that's a front in order to balance themselves out. And it can be the exact opposite. So I always try to do that. And I try to get to know what makes them tick. And then from there, I just continually watch. And you're going to learn from the people around you who've been there. And this person does this, that person does that. You take that information in, but I don't use that as my first impression. I take that information and I store it. I'm going to trust my eyes and my view of them, and then take the information that was given to me. This person's a bad person, or they struggle with this, they do this, a person really great. And then I bounce it off of what I see in my personal interaction with them, and then see how they line up. And then you'll figure out what it is. And then the other key part about authenticity is huge as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be authentic, because you talk about the be like Mike, and I talk about that in my book, to where a lot of people fall into prey. We all have mentors that we look up to, and where a lot of people fall prey to is they see a leader that they want to be like, and there's like, oh, I love this and that. I'm going to be just like him. I'm going to act like that person. And your personality may be completely different. And that's a big mistake.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not possible to maintain someone else's personality for too long.
Right.
The last thing you want to do is be inauthentic, because you're going to slip up. You're human. You're going to fall in where you're going to fall back to who you are, and your player's going to pick up on it, or your team is going to pick up on it right away. So it's all about being authentic. And in my time in the military, as a coach, I had guys like Coach Gary Kubiak, who his personality is completely different than mine, but he's a phenomenal leader, and I learned so much from him. But I can't coach like Coach Kubiak. Coach Kubiak is a laid back, chill out, kind of, almost RoboCop type guy. He's, we can score a touchdown or just had a turnover, and this expression doesn't change. You know what I mean? I'm not that guy. I can't be that way. I'm high energy. I'm dancing on the sideline, pregame and warm-ups, and that's who I am. But if I tried to be Coach Kubiak, it would be exhausting and it would fall apart. On the flip side, if Coach Kubiak tried to be like me, it would be the same thing. So you can take traits from people that you admire, but still be who you are, because that's what you can, and that's who you can maintain, and your players will see it, or your people that you're in charge of will see it, and they'll appreciate it. And so those are all the things that go into that, and it's a constant process. It never stops, and you got to continue working on that and continue developing. And then when you feel comfortable, then you start to, like I talked about earlier, laying in, okay, this guy, I'm going to give him a little bit more responsibility here, or give a little more responsibility here, or pull him aside, say, hey, you show me this, I'm going to show you this. I'm a Kappa, all right? I'm a Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Love my frat. And anytime I've coached players that were that were my frat brothers, I immediately told them right then and there, that means I'm going to be harder than you than everybody else, because I have a higher expectation. So I put that on them immediately to handle that.
Yeah.
And so you learn how to do certain things like that to get guys to branch out and then see where you are, and then you make changes. You may have made a mistake and say, okay, I'm gonna back off of this and I'm gonna put it on this guy. It's constantly evaluation, and it's constantly trying to improve your team in order to have the most efficient and most productive team you can possibly have.
Awesome.
Yeah. I saw something in your book, Coach, that I thought was very interesting. You brought a really good kind of a distinction between, I say a distinction, I use that loosely, but you kind of brought this distinction between something that's not necessarily equal, but fair. And I thought that was a great concept to kind of bring out. Can you kind of talk through a little bit of that?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Everyone and most people want to do things right and be equitable in how they treat people, and that's very admirable. But a lot of people fail because they think, well, I'm gonna treat everybody the exact same, and this happens here. It's a binary thing. It's a 0 or 1 or exact thing, and people aren't that way. No one is one way all the time.
That's right.
And one of the examples I talked about in my book is you want to treat people fairly, but that doesn't necessarily mean you treat people the same. So here's an example I kind of use. If I have a 17-year-old, I'm not going to treat my 17-year-old like I treat my 9-year-old. You can't treat them the same.
Right.
They're older, the maturity level is different, and the 17-year-old should have a little more responsibility, more expectations, and all that. So you can't do that. So that would be unequitable. That's not right to do that. On another example, you may have someone as a teacher, you may have someone in your class that has a learning disability. You can't give them the exact same amount of time to take the tests because it's fair. Excuse me, it's equal.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be fair to that person has the learning disability.
Yeah.
You have to do a great job of balancing that out. And that goes into the workplace. You may have someone that works in your company that's a great worker, but they may be a single parent and have 3, 4 kids, and they got to do certain things. And they, I have to, the babysitter may be late and things like that. And certain things, okay to allow certain people those different type of things because they earned it in the way they've carried themselves.
That's right.
And there may be some people who may whine about it initially, but deep down inside, they're like, you know what? That's the right thing to do. And on the flip side, you may have someone that's late all the time and it's not doing things right and take shortcuts. You're not going to treat them like the person that's always doing things the right way, because that's not fair to the person that's doing their job the right way. So again, as a leader, you got to be able to figure out and balance things out, and it can't just be black and white.
Right.
There's things that are that way. You break certain rules, yeah. You drunk drive, you're going to jail. Period. There's no exception. Things like that. But you can't have certain rules say, well, we're all doing it this way and this is how it's going to be, because you're going to lose people and you're going to be inefficient.
Right.
You're going to treat people that are doing things the right way and they're excelling, and you're going to treat them the same way as someone that may not be doing things the right way, and they're going to get the same treatment, punishment. They're going to get punished for things that they shouldn't have. And the people who are not performing at the level, they're going to get rewarded for things that they haven't earned.
Right.
So it's that balance. And again, that's the heart. Anyone can be a leader, when the seas were calm. You know, things are easy. True leadership comes when you have obstacles, and those are the things you have to be able to work through and figure out in order to, again, have the most efficient and most productive workplace, team, environment, unit that you can possibly have.
Yeah. Yeah. That kind of brings me to the next question. I wasn't sure if Leo was going to ask the question or not, but that you just said something that kind of that I had a statement in your book that was highlighted that you said, excuse me, that kind of segues into what I'm going to ask you. You said, even the most well-intended and responsible individual will have unexpected events and circumstances arise in their life. And so as a coach, and obviously there was a level of kind of an evolution of a leader. So you start at one level and then you just kind of continue to grow. Would you say that you kind of understood that initially, or is that something that you kind of figured out as you continue to grow in your leadership in different areas?
A little bit of both. Most of it, I think I was just blessed with the ability to focus on, hey, worry about the things that I can actually control, and knowing that life is going to happen and there are things that are going to happen in life that you have no control over. I've always been really good at that in my life. And early on, it caused a lot of, not a lot of problems, but it caused people to think, oh, he's flippant. He doesn't care about things. He's nonchalant. And that wasn't the case. But I learned, like, I can't fix that. I can't do anything about that. That's out of my control. So I'm not going to waste a second worrying about it. But again, other things that I was able to learn how to build on that. But again, yeah, that's how life works. And again, no one's perfect, and it comes back to like failing. And I think I have a different view of failure than a lot of people. Just because you don't accomplish something that you set out to do, to me, that's not failing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just life.
That's good.
Things are just going to happen that it didn't work. Move on to the next thing. We're not going to always get the job we want. We're not always going to get the promotion we want. We're not always going to get, this certain thing. That's just life.
Yeah.
When you fail is when you just quit. Say, I'm done. This is too hard. I'm not doing it. That's failure.
You know what, Coach? I think another thing, many people don't understand that success is built off of what some people feel are called failures. Mm-hmm. You don't get from one place to the other without having gone through something. There's not a successful person that you will ever talk to that did not have moments where things did not turn out the way that they wanted those things to turn out. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's something that people that want to achieve at a high level, I think those are things that they have to look at, because many people get paralyzed in life just because they hit a wall, just because it didn't work. Mm-hmm. So I think if they understand that it's not, we define it wrong.
Right.
A lot of time we define things that we did not do successfully as failure, when really it was never failure. It was just something that you took as far as you could, and you realize that sometimes you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing in the first place.
Wow.
And that causes you to detour, get back to the place where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. And again, it's life, man. Life isn't a straight road right down the way, and you just cruising, you set cruise control and you roll. Life got curves, and there's speed bumps, and there's detours, and sometimes you break down on the side of the road, you got to change a tire or two. So life has a lot of issues in it, man. You got the mountains, and sometimes you're going down there, you got to slam on the brakes. That's life. You got to manage all those things, and you got to be able to, like you said, you got to be able to adjust and learn from it. Again, there's not a single coach that's undefeated, and I've been fired a lot. That's just how the profession goes. You know what I mean? I've been fired. It's a profession of instability. You get fired,
right.
And a lot of times it may not even be because of your particular performance. Mm-hmm. But I understand that. That's just how it is. And that's the change. You got to be able to sit back, like you said, recalibrate, figure it out, move on, and go on to the next thing. And there's a lot of people who wipe their hands, I'm done, and moving on, and that quit. And if people say, I got kicked in the face, I got kicked in the teeth, I'm gonna dust myself off, clean up, and go to the dentist, get my teeth fixed, and go on to the next thing, you know? So you gotta, and I think those are the people, again, that are very successful, that have failed and fallen many times, and they learn from those mistakes or learn from those mishaps, and they improve from it and keep driving on.
That is awesome.
Now, one of them in chapter 4, misconceptions of leadership. It's better to be feared than loved. Can you talk about that?
That's one of the things, man. And in the book, I'm a big movie guy, and I love mobster movies, and I use the mobster movie to kind of equate that. And you see that all the time, and that where people try to feel like I got to be hard, I got to be tough, and get people to fear me, and that works for a period of time. But if you think of any movie you've ever seen, or even in any real life, think of anybody that was in a leadership role that had a reputation of being feared. The first opportunity that his people had a chance to leave, or him or her had their people had a chance to leave or change, they did it.
Yeah.
Because they was like, I'm just going to run this ship out because I don't want to get in trouble. But as soon as things got rocky or they had an out, they were gone. But you take guys where people really respect and they love their leaders, they will go to the ends of the earth for that person, that individual. And that's what the idea about that chapter is, where you don't want to be feared as a leader. You want to be respected. It's a full pot of things. Well, they fear me, so they're going to listen to me. Yeah, for a short time.
Yeah.
But the first chance they get to find another job, they're going. Or the first time you make a mistake and they can throw you under the bus, they're going to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you get the respect of it, and same way in the Army. If you don't have the respect of as an officer, you don't have respect of your NCOs, they're waiting for you to fall in your face. You're like, I told them something else, I'm going. But you earn that respect on them, they will not let you fail. They will protect you to the ends of the earth. And that's where it comes from, being a leader that's you leading out of respect and not fear, or love and not fear. I'd much rather, and I honor that, because especially as a coach, I tell my players all the time that I love them. I don't hesitate to do it. Especially being a man, and you know, the masculinity part of it. This game is a very physical and somewhat gladiator type game. I let these young men that I coach know that, hey, it's okay to tell another man you love them. It's okay. That's what we are as people. Yes. You know, let people know you care about them, let them know you love them. And I tell my players that all the time. And they know it. And they also know if someone comes at them the wrong way, I'm gonna be the first person there in line to protect them. You got to get through me to mess with them. You want to pick with them, you're gonna catch these hands. I treat all my players like my son. And you don't step to my family the same way. You're not gonna come to my son. You're not coming to my people I care about in the wrong way. I'm going to go to the ends of the earth to protect them. And when they know that also allows you to get on them when they do something wrong, when they're not right. I can get on them as hard as I possibly can. They'll be upset for a little while, but they know that 10 minutes from now, I'm going to come back, or the next day, I'm going to put my arm around, tell them I love them. And I've done that before, and they know, coach got on me, but yeah, I earned it. That's my fault. Because they know I care about them. And that's regurgitated and that's reciprocated, because I still have players that I coached 10, 15 years ago that'll call me or text me with things that going on in their life. When they buy a home, or they're getting married, or having a kid, they tell me that. When I got this job, I had players that called and told me, Coach, you're going to do a great job because you care about players. And that means more to me than anything. Right. No matter what the wins are, they know I cared about them. And that's why I coach.
That's one of those old sayings that they used to say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I think good leaders identify that, because having served in the military, having been up under different types of leaders, one thing, I fell in love with one leader that I had, and it wasn't because that leader was a bully. It was because that leader led by example, and that leader also let us know that she cared. There was absolutely nothing, Sergeant Major Bull, there was nothing that she wouldn't do. And she had a way about getting things done without screaming and flexing. It was all in the ask, and then made you feel privileged that you were serving her. And I think that's one of the strong points that we have, that good leaders have, when people do know that you care for them.
I still talk to my old platoon sergeant from Fort Bragg. We're still friends to this day because of that relationship. My old first sergeant, we still talk. I actually, outside of my West Point guys that I went to school and I've known for much, I communicate with more of my former NCOs than I did the officers that I spent with, because I was invested more in them, and we built those relationships. And again, those are the things that mean so much to me. And like I said, that's what, again, when I say I found my calling, I found my purpose, it's that leader mentorship, the servant leadership that I talk about. You know, being a leader is, your job is not to take all the credit, not to stand there when things go right and wave people give you the credit. Your job as a leader is to remove as many obstacles as you possibly can to allow the people and provide them with the resources to allow the people that you're in charge of to be great at their job. And when they succeed, you stand up and say, I didn't do this, they did it. It's because of them we were successful at that. It's because of them we won that ball game or whatever, that mission that was on them. When things go wrong, when you're not successful, that's when the leader steps up. That's on me. It's my fault. I got to coach better because we lost that game. I got to teach them better here, or I didn't do a great job preparing them for this. And that's where a lot of people have a hard problem with. You know, everyone wants to stand up. Some guys want to stand. Yeah, I'll take the praise for that. But when the things go wrong, they turn around and looking back and say that's someone else. That's not how leaders operate. Leader, you give praise when to your team when things go right, and when things go wrong, that's on me. I'll get better. I'll fix it.
So what you're saying, leadership starts and ends with leaders.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you lead in a manner in which, you know, I think one of the things that we have come to really understand is that leadership is not always the easiest thing. We always use this analogy. You know, it's easier for people on the sidelines to see the field. All of a sudden, the people on the sidelines are saying, "Why did he take that? Why did he take the ball there? Why did the coach tell him to do this? Or why did the person tell him to do that?" It's always easier on the sidelines. And so, as a leader, how do you lead in a manner in which the people on the sidelines are yelling, telling you, you should do this, coach, you should do that. Why didn't you put my kid in? They're the best. Or why didn't you do this way or that way? You know, so how do you continue to keep your head up and lead, knowing that everybody that's around may not agree with your leadership?
Two things with that. One, there's nothing about leadership that's easy. If you feel it's easy, you're not doing it the right way. But secondly, again, that goes back to controlling things. I don't worry about that. I don't concern myself with that. Because again, if someone could do that job, they'd be in the shoes doing it. You know, I don't concern myself with doing what this parent's saying or what. I don't worry about that not 1 second. Because again, I focus on the guys. I focus on my players. I focus on people I'm in control of. And I honestly don't remember a time where I had a parent or someone like that come to me with that or even heard about it, because ultimately they want to see them succeed, but they ultimately know I'm caring for their player, their kid. They know I'm doing things that's going to make this person better. So I've never, if that's happened, it's never been the point to where I've heard it. And again, I ignore it anyway if it does, because I know how fans can be. Fan is short for fanatic. You know what I mean? They do what they do. But I invest into my guys so they know they care about. So if anything like that happens, they tell them, no, that's not coach's fault. That's on me. I'm not, because it's on me.
Right.
You know? So again, I worry about what I can control. As a coach, if you're worrying about what the fans are saying, you're that much closer to getting fired.
Wow.
It's just what it is. You know what I mean? If that impacts your decisions on things, you're not going to make wise decisions on what you're doing. You know what I mean? You're focused on the wrong things.
Do you have that same thought process as it relates to the players?
Yeah, pretty much. Again, it all goes back to that initial relationship you have. because every player, especially at college level, every player that's coming in, they're used to being the big fish in the little pond. They're used to being the guy. And when you get to college, that ability steps up. Now everybody's been there, and the same thing in the pros. So again, it's getting that information or getting that to let them know, hey, here's what you control, what you can control, and if you're doing that, things will work out to where you're going to get what you're going to get. You know what I mean? And so it's always been that way. I've always been blunt with my guys, always been honest with them, let them know, you want to get on the field, here's the things you got to do. Here's why you're not playing. You know, and if you fix these things, that's going to increase your chance of playing. I'm not going to promise it's going to play.
Right.
I tell guys, the best guys, you perform the best, you're going to play. You're going to contribute. And again, it also goes back to that mindset what I said about getting everybody to embrace what their role is. Everyone may think my role is to be the guy. That's not everybody's role.
That's right.
So you have to figure out where you fit in on to make them realize your role is important, whether you're the starter or you're the scout team guy getting the starter ready. And when you do that, guys, again, especially in team sport like football, they will embrace that. They may not be happy with it, but they go back to, okay, this is what I have to do. And I'm never shy or bashful about letting our guys know, hey, here's what you can focus on. If you're telling me about what that guy's doing, you're focused on the wrong stuff. You know what I mean? You're focused on the wrong thing. You can't control how well he practices or how fast he runs.
Right.
If you focus on your stuff, your technique is screwed up on this. You know what I mean? His is pretty good. So you can fix his, you can fix yours. Then when you fix yours, then we'll talk.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
So I it sounds like you were dealing with just now the importance of addressing conflicts in a timely manner. Yeah.
I see what you did there.
It's when you see things, Coach, have you ever allowed something to drag on and did not deal with it that caused you to be quick to make decisions now?
Maybe early on, but there's nothing really popped in my mind that's been why it was so dramatic where I completely dropped it and said they really caused a lot of issues. But that's a great. My point with that is that as a leader, and it varies the higher up you go. But if you're hearing about an issue that's going on, it's already too late. Because you're as a leader, you're so far removed from everything else. The problem you heard about, it didn't just happen 5 minutes ago or the day before. It's probably been going on for a week or two, if you're lucky. So when you finally do hear about it, you need to find out what's going on right now, because it's at the point now to where it could derail your group. So that's the urgency you have to understand you have when you have those types of issues. And then also part I talked about in the book, sometimes it's good to throw in, add little conflicts yourself. Not necessarily anything that's bad, but throw things in just to see how people react to certain things, and to see, again, that will allow you to identify who work well under pressure, who's going to fold, who's going to point fingers, who's going to accept responsibility, and let you learn what your team is about, and also let you strengthen your team. So when those situations do arrive, you can attack it better. Because if you sit there and say, "Oh, there's nothing going on here, we're perfectly fine," you're setting yourself up for one, you're not connected, because there's always something that can be improved, and two, you're setting yourself up for when things get really bad, and like the seas get really rocky, and you're not going to be able to handle it because you've been covering your eyes and hiding from issues and not wanting anything to be addressed or not attack the hard problems. So you have to be ready for the hard problems as a leader, because that's when leadership really counts.
Right.
That's what you're preparing your team for when things get hard. When it's whatever. When we're as coach, you don't set your team up in situation that's always up, the ball's on the 5 yard. You don't practice the victory formation every single play. You get in red zone, you get backed up where now you're on the 2 yard line, you got to drive the field. You put your teams in different situations so they're prepared for it when it comes. You know, you just don't worry about the good stuff. You got to focus more on the tough times and when things, and you throw stuff at them to make them stress and see how they handle stressful situations. For one, so you can help them improve in it. But then you may see a guy that may be more talented that struggle and breaks in those situations. A guy that may be slightly less talented, and now he excels when things get hot. So, and then now you know, like I talked about earlier, hey, that's that guy's strong point. When stuff hits the fan, that's the guy I want in the game because he's going to handle it well.
Right.
So now you made your team stronger because you got a guy that you can put in the situation that when it's stressful, you know they're going to answer the bell. So you got to do all those things to test your team to get them going. So you can, again, you always want to have the most efficient, productive, and cohesive unit you possibly can.
Right.
And you don't do that unless you put them in some tough situations.
Yeah.
I assume a lot of that was learned also from the military.
Absolutely.
You know, because while you were talking, I was thinking about how during peacetime, we trained just like we were at war.
Yes.
All the scenarios of war that they could create, they created because the more you become familiar with what could happen when it does happen, you have a tendency to prepare or to respond better.
Yeah.
Versus never practicing it.
Right.
And then your first time encountering it is in a live situation. That's you don't want people to crumble or to crack or to tap out on you during the live situations.
Right.
Yeah. You want to sweat. You want to sweat and cry in peacetime so you don't have to bleed in wartime. You know.
Well,
I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
So, Coach, you said in your book, this was really good. You gave a statement or a quote from General Norman Schwarzkopf, who we used to, affectionately call Stormin' Norman back in the day. But you said his quote was, "Leadership is a potent combination of strategy and character, but if you must be without one, be without strategy." So kind of talk through that, what the character of a leader is. And I'm really asking you this, and I know you're getting ready to talk, but I'm really kind of asking you this to kind of bring this together, because obviously we've had a lot of conversation about Army leadership and military leadership, and as far as sports and football. But there are some leaders that's on here that maybe have never been in the military, or may never going to be in there, or probably never going to make it to the NFL or even to college football or something, but they are leaders in their own rights in different areas, entrepreneurs or different jobs, or even in the church, whatever. Can you kind of talk through the importance of the leadership character aspect that you were talking about with that quote? And I don't know if you need to talk through that whole quote or whatever. I might have asked you too many questions within that, but hopefully
I get exactly what you're saying. But the character is the most important part, because character, it kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Just the character is the fundamentals, is the backbone, the foundation of leadership. That should drive your every decision, because when you have the right character, you're caring for the people you lead, right? And your ultimate thing is, I got to do what's best for them. Mm-hmm. And the character part of it, you can learn strategy. You can become a better strategist.
That's right.
That takes study. That takes failing at it in peacetime and learning how to do it better. But it's very hard to improve upon your character.
Wow.
It's very hard to improve on the type of person that you are inside. If you're a bad, evil, demented, person, that's probably who you're going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can't improve on that. And that's not what you want in leaders. But if you have a good heart, you have a good character, you care about your people, you're always going to do the things that's always best for them. And you can become a better strategist.
Yeah.
I can become a better coach and be smarter X and O's and as an offensive guy and defense. I can become better at that.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people all the time, when I was, my struggles of trying to land a head coaching job, and I'm very self-aware of what my weaknesses. Mm-hmm. And it was always, I know I've never been an offensive coordinator, never been a defense coordinator. But being a head coach is about being a leader. And I know there are guys that will run circles around me when it comes to offensive, steam, especially because I've never been an offensive guy, but defensively and in special teams. But I can get better. I'm always learning. but I'm pretty confident. And if people want to call it cocky or arrogant, that's fine. I'm good with it. But I know I'm a pretty doggone good leader, and I'll go toe to toe with anyone when it comes to leading people and caring for the people that I'm in charge of. No one does that better than me.
Come on now.
But I don't feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm always going to take that into account. And that's always going to be what I fall back on. So if I don't know necessarily the right play to call or the right, the thing to call on special teams or when to call the right timeout, I'm going to know when it really counts that I need to step back and I need to give this dude a hug today.
Yeah.
Or I need to talk to him about this. I'm going to always do the right thing when it comes for caring for my people, the people I'm in charge of. And if I do that, everything was to fall in the line, and I'll get better at calling plays. I'll get better at in-game situations. I'll get better at clock management. It's very hard to improve how you care about people deep down inside.
Awesome. Woo.
Wow. Well, Coach, this has been absolutely amazing. Everything that we thought it would be. The hour just went by. Oh, my Lord.
Too fast.
I'm looking. I felt like some little man was on the inside of our clock on the computer, just rushing the time. But this has been amazing, because I think that one of the things that all of us can take away from the conversation this evening is that, first of all, if you're willing to put in the time, if you're willing to commit to your craft, if you're willing to go through the process and learn what leadership requires, I think there's a place at the table for most people. And it's not about how you rise when it comes to leadership, but understand that sometimes you have to function right where you are, because leaders are only valuable when they're necessary. And sometimes people don't realize that you don't have to be way up the food chain to be valuable. Sometimes you're valuable just right there in your little local job, sitting in your queue, in your community, doing whatever it is that you do.
Right.
Well, Coach, we thank you so much for dropping so many nuggets on us.
Yeah, can you tell us where we can find your book, where people can get your book from?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. This has been great. I really enjoy talking about this stuff because it means so much to me. And but the book is called Leadership Playbook, and it's on Amazon. So you can get it. Get it on there, and that's where it's been. And like I said, once you get it, I hope people will check it out and get a couple things out of it, and enjoy it and share it and pass it on to as many people as you possibly can.
I can tell you that the book itself was so powerful. There were some things that that my husband and I read early on, and then just since we've been just today and then talking through more of it, I'm just like amazed at some of the leadership principles that you put in there, particularly some of those that were that were deemed as misconceptions of leadership. I thought those were some of the most powerful points in that book, especially for someone that's developing as a developing leader. Mm-hmm. I thought those were so powerful and greatly put in. So awesome. I mean, I would say this is definitely a leadership playbook that we should all have as leaders. Definitely.
Yeah, because one of the big things about leader, it's as being a good leader and being a good, just learning, you learn more from what you mistakes you make, but also when you see the things that other people said, you know what, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
That's almost more powerful than saying I am going to do that, do this. Yeah. So when you can learn, hey, things that don't fit your personality or things that's flat out you don't do, and again, a lot of those things in there in that misconception parts are not intentional things. It's people have well-meaning, right, but they have just false conceptions of what it takes.
That's right.
So just to kind of step back, say, you know what, let's not do it that way. So again, it's an easy read. It's again, I'm a country boy from South Carolina and Charleston, and I try to. It's not a hard read. There's no big dissertations or big complex thoughts. It's things that I've lived and things I learned, and examples from my life. And it's an easy read, and it's something that you can keep on your desk, keep in your bookshelf, keep in your suitcase or your briefcase. That something pops up, you can pop it open, pull a little nugget that may help you to improve your organization.
Love it.
And before we close, guys, one of the things that I want to bring out also, after each chapter, instead of you having to sit back and wonder, what should I be trying to look to take away? He has key takeaways after every chapter. That's like giving you a test and then giving you the answer, saying, hey, You know, read it. But then, if you really want to know what some good stuff that you can get out of it, take these with you. Absolutely amazing. Coach, thanks again. We really appreciate you spending this time with us. And we're going to finish this book, and we're going to continue to promote this book. And hopefully some of the people that are viewing this evening, they will go out and purchase the book, and not only purchase the book, but make sure you sit down and read the book, because all of us should be inspiring to be better, especially when we're leading other people, because leadership does come with great responsibility, but leadership also presents opportunities for us to change lives and to impact people in a direction that could cause their lives to be changed forever. So we encourage you to take it serious. Thanks again, Coach. Do you have anything else before we close this evening?
No, again, thank you guys for having me. This was great. I enjoyed every second of it. I appreciate you guys having me on. And like I said, man, just, again, be good to one another. Everything's about friendships and bonding and caring about people. And if we do that, we'll grow a lot in this country, in this world, and things will be great. And like I said, thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate you being here.
Do you have anything else, Lobo?
Nope. I just want to say, I say no, and then I start talking. I just want to say thank you. This has been so very powerful and enlightening. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Coach, even though we're about to get off the air, hang around. We're going to chat behind the scene after this.
Sounds good.
You all have a great week. We'll see you next week. Tell somebody that Soul Talk will be on every Thursday. And once again, we've had an amazing author leader on the broadcast this week, and we will be continuing to highlight different authors. So tune in. Until then, have an amazing week.
And let's chat about it.
Yeah.